favorite time.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to introduce our guest today. You guys, not only is he an incredible heavyweight boxer, but also a huge anti-bullying advocate. David Nino Rodriguez is here. Yeah, of course, we've got Brett and we've got Grace. So, David, I've been so excited to have you here on the show. First of all, what I know of you as a heavyweight champion, 6 belts. And your record, 36 and
2, 34 knockouts, but
34 knockouts.
34 knockouts, but I contribute the 2 losses to after the incident that happened to me,
which we'll talk about.
Yeah,
we're going to talk about the incident. So before the incident, you were 34 and 0, all knockouts.
I was 36 and 0, 34 knockouts. Yeah,
that's insane.
And 5 in the world, and it was it was really just I was riding that high horse, and everything was just unbelievable. And
5th
then,
in the world.
Yeah.
And a lot of people had you pinned as the next heavyweight champion of the world.
Yeah, they were calling me the Klitschko killer.
Yeah.
I mean, I was right in line to do some big things, and due to some unfortunate circumstances, things happened, and I was almost murdered.
Let's talk about the incident then, because a lot of people
get that out of the way.
Yeah, let's talk about. I mean,
what?
But this is and again, like I talked to you about earlier, not to sound insensitive, but this incident became like the silver lining of you becoming this big activist.
So it was really a blessing.
Happened?
Yeah, it was a blessing in disguise, because what happened was, I took the most positive I could out of it. What happened was I was cut in the throat. And
where were you? Walk us
Phoenix,
through it.
walking out of a bar. I was intoxicated. So were some of my friends, and there was some confrontation. I don't really remember the whole thing, to be honest with you. I remember that we started throwing words back at each other, and as I was leaving, they came behind me and slit my throat open, and then they also stabbed my friend. So both of us are laying there. I'm gasping for air, dying. I'm losing so much blood, and I lost close to 2 pints. And I was in a coma for like 2 days. And when I woke up, I had 369 stitches, and I was lucky because a cosmetic surgeon was on call that night that did this. Otherwise, it'd probably look much worse. But so that happened, and it really put a huge roadblock in my career. I tried to come back too fast. I fought Darnell Wilson on NBC, and I got lost. I was winning
Your
the fight.
first loss.
I was winning the fight, and I got knocked out the last 10 seconds.
Oh, wow.
Everything was just a mess for me, and that's what really catapulted me into this program. My friend Sal Montalongo, when I was in El Paso, he saw me. I was real depressed. I was in a real dark time. Like, I didn't know what to do. I couldn't believe all this happened to me.
Right.
I mean, so quick. It just happened so quick. I was on, like I said, I was way up here, cloud 9, and then all of a sudden came crashing down. It was all over for me. And then when that happened, this guy named Sal kept coming up to me and saying, "Hey, man, I want you to help me out with this, the kids, these kids." Kept talking about kids. I'm like, dude, I'm in no position to talk to any kids. Nobody wants to hear from me. I was so down and out, seriously.
Yeah.
Well, turned out that I started, he bugged me. He was bugging me every day. I was like, what is with this dude?
He was a thorn in your side.
Yeah, I was like, what is with this guy?
Kids.
He's all, come on, man, just come talk to the kids. It'll make you feel better. I'm like, I don't want to feel better. I was just that bad. And he goes, what do you want to talk about? And I was like, how about bullying? Because I was bullied as a kid.
You were bullied as a kid.
Yeah,
wow.
And so we went and we put together a little presentation. It took about, I can't believe how quick, it formed organically.
Right.
And it really took off. And the next thing you know, here I am talking to kids in detention homes, alternative schools, middle schools. One time it was like 2,500 kids. And I'm talking to them, and I'm thinking to myself, man, this is all happening really fast. And then now here I am, this advocate for an anti-bullying, and all I'm doing is sharing my stories.
What is your story? And I know that you work closely with lucidlove.org, and you're a keynote speaker now, and a lot of kids are looking up to you and relating to you.
It's taken off like wildfire. Well, what I do is I don't try to lecture the kids or tell them anything. What I do is I go and I make my presence known. I say, hey, I was a 6-time heavyweight champ, and I tell them my stories, my personal story, my humiliating stories about me being bullied as a kid in junior. Oh gosh. Okay. One of them was it's a presentation about an hour and 15 minutes, and I talk about how I used to eat my lunch in the stall in the gymnasium because I was so scared I was gonna get my butt kicked every day at lunch.
Stall?
Yeah, and I was so traumatized. So I used to have to eat my lunch in the stall. And because I was so petrified, I was scared to go outside because all these kids wanted to kick my butt. I don't know why. They still do, but people still want to kick my butt. But it's like I talk about how the principal would curse me out, yell at me, tell me I'm never going to amount to anything. And then I'll never forget when I won my first championship in El Paso, he was front row, and he was like, "Hey, can I get your autograph?"
Oh.
And I was like, wow, how sweet it is.
Wow. So you have this really uplifting message for people who are being bullied, but what would you say to the kids who bully? I'm sure that a lot of bullies
it's a
go to
vicious
these
cycle.
talks.
What I'm discovering is that, and I'm learning on the job, but I'm discovering is these kids that bully, something's going wrong at home.
Yep.
Yeah.
A lot of them, it's a cycle. This is not, and first you got to remember, kids can be mean.
Yeah.
That's just the nature of the way things are. It's a pecking order. And, even when I was being bullied, I took it out on other kids too. I was a bully too.
That's
in a lot of ways. It's just the way it is. I'm not saying I was, a saint. I was not a saint.
That's the vicious cycle, though. You're right.
Yeah,
Oftentimes these kids
it's insecurity.
are being...
It's insecurity. It comes from a really deep level of insecurity.
Right, and they're mirroring what's happening to them at home or on the playground. And even Mike Tyson, he talked about that too, that he was bullied and then he became a bully.
I mean, Mike Tyson was bullied. I mean, come on.
I know. I just watched Champs the other night and he talks about all of that. It's insane.
So what kind of feedback have you gotten since you've been going out and giving these talks? From the kids that you're talking to?
I just got a call on my way here right now, and it's like when I get back to El Paso, which is the 27th, I'm going there for a week. I'm booked for 4 schools already. It's just taking off because we're not going up there and lecturing. We're sympathizing. We're really talking to the kids, and what touched me, man, this was the one that got me the most. There's a kid named James that I could tell when I was leaving my presentation, he was looking at me like with these little kid. The program directors were telling me that he's always there at the rec and he never likes to go home. And then he was probably 8 years old. And then after my presentation, I gave it, and it ended, he comes running up from me from his seat and just hugs me and just starts crying. And he's bawling on my shirt, and I didn't know what to do. I was like looking around, and I really struck a nerve with him, and that was very rewarding to me. And what I'm trying to do right now, we just got a release signed that whenever I'm in El Paso, I can go down there and take him to baseball games or take him to the park or something like that. You know what I mean? So I'm going to really try to help the kid out.
And at the end of the day, just him knowing that someone else has gone through it and other people go through it so they don't feel so isolated and alone. That speaks volumes. Please, you guys check out lucidlove.org. We'll also have that petition up with your blog and Nick Diaz. And your story, just absolutely, you are changing lives.
It's not done yet.
No, it's not. No, it's not. We're rooting for you. It is just beginning. We can't wait to have you back on the show as heavyweight champion of the world. Yeah, we're saying it here first. And we'll see you guys all next time on Pop Trigger.